crazy motorcyclists. They always say, be on the lookout for motorcyclists, but look at how they drive. Anyhow, I know some of you aren't gonna like this, but last night the call came through. I heard back from my friend, who was a co-worker at Hessler Knives. She's actually a Marilyn Monroe impersonator. That's what she does when she's not out selling knives, or pimping knives as she calls it. But I heard back from her, and she had texted or sent my information, or demands, if you want to call it, my requests rather, to Kirk, the regional manager for this whole area. And he had me call him, you know. So I called him, he called back, and they're not going to meet all my demands, but the main one they will meet, which is basically what I had demanded was this. I wanted every weekend, every Saturday and Sunday off, even though those are the busiest days. Those are the days where they make the most money, and you know, where they've contracted with the various stores to sell. And how it works is this: if they aren't there on those days, they actually get fined. And you're like, well, how can a store fine a vendor that comes in? Well, that space that you're there, somebody else could be using it to make money. Where your booth is, if you're not out there selling, then that space is just sitting vacant, which means nobody's making any money, including the store. The way it works is the store takes a cut, a percentage of the sales. So if you're not there to sell anything, they could have used that space to sell something else, or for another vendor. So that's why, you know, these vending companies, or these basically people who do demos and stuff like that, they work out agreements, you know, I guess the companies do, that they'll be there a certain number of days, a certain number of hours, because that retail space right there is valuable. Well, I had requested to have every weekend off. And the reason for that is, said that if obviously, you know, I can see my children and my family, and also do some work on this channel, as well as continue seeking a more permanent position somewhere, you know, that if that's what it comes down to. But there's several changes that are all happening extremely fast, and that's why decisions are being made like they are. I know a lot of you had made suggestions of, like, maybe I should get a job at a fast foods place, or just some other temp job. I have applied, I have looked, and I haven't really applied to, like, McDonald's yet, but previously, even when I applied at those places, they turned me down. I applied at, like, even Dollar Tree and other places like that. I have several applications out, resumes, and have applied to several jobs. I haven't heard back from anybody. The problem is, this is my last week of getting paid, you know, from my work as a handyman assistant. So once that stops, I go negative again. I can't afford to pay child support, my insurance, phone bills, the rent, which, you know, Walters let me divert some of it to hurricane repairs and stuff like that. But I got to start paying him rent, you know. It's not like a huge amount or anything like that, but it's still an expenditure. So I've got to have income. That's what it comes down to. And the big thing is, with child support, if I don't make any payments and stuff, they will suspend my license again. So we're right back to where we were in a crisis situation several months ago. Except we're slightly better off. And I intend to not put to waste, you know, Walter's kindness in letting me use his house. This is a foundation for trying to get myself back on track. And I know several people have made suggestions for me to move back into the van. And believe it or not, that is what is happening and will happen. And not on a permanent basis, but on a mostly semi-permanent basis, you know, because I'm going to be working. And the key was to try to get a job lined up right away so that the income loss impact is minimal. And even in a job that's not the greatest job in the world, it's better to have that job than no job at all. And meanwhile, you know, be in a situation where if you don't get hired, it's not going to get better. Better to take the job that's given to you in your hand. What is it, like one stone in your hand, or one bird, one whatever in your hand is better than two in the tree, or in the bushes, or on the ground, or whatever. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the job with Hessler again. I know now what to expect, and I know what it's like. I also know this, and this is something some of you may not be aware of, or you know, some of you are aware, but I've seen how it was last time. It was like a nightmare. But we are actually in the holiday season. We've got November, which is Thanksgiving, which is what we're into now, and December, which is like Christmas and other holidays, Hanukkah and other things like that, and New Year's. And the significance of that is people meet, you know, families gather, and they eat. And usually when they eat, they cook. And when they cook, they usually cut things. Ah, now maybe you get it. This is, from what I recall from last year, the best selling season. Coming on right now, that's why they were really desperate for people, because Hessler would be losing lots of money right now if they can't fill these positions. And the reason is, this is when people buy. People buy the knives for themselves to cook at home and family gatherings. And they also buy it for gifts because, you know, you've heard me spiel about the knife. They are actually an excellent value for what they are. It's how things will run. Now, there's been changes in management. Larry has left. Larry's actually doing construction now. And actually, it was like really good timing for him because he left here. Then shortly afterwards, the hurricane hit. Irma hit. And so they're getting all sorts of work. So Larry is like raking in the money now. So, you know, so there's been some changes. I'm not quite sure what all the differences are going to be, other than that I think I now report directly to the, I don't know if it's a regional manager for the whole, several states here in the southeast United States. So that'll be different. The other thing is I have told them that, you know, I only will take a position if I can commute back and forth every day, no matter what, and get paid for the mileage. So we'll see how, you know, that works. I do know that when I was talking to Kirk, he's trying to put me near the house. Because last time when I was commuting, I was cranking in for every 2 weeks, $720, you know, in commute fees. So they're going to assign me near the house. That way they don't have to pay much, if any, commute charges. I think they make you pay, they make you give them 40 miles each way, which is 80 miles a day. So they can put me up to 40 miles away from my house, which is why the first assignment here is going to be in Orlando. Yeah. So they had an opening, you know, for the Orlando store. Well, it's not an opening, there's a person there already, so I'll be working with the other person. But they said I could have gone there on Monday, which would put me, you know, I stop on Friday and I start right on Monday. But if you've been following along, you know I've got some serious issues to handle. Namely, figuring out how to get to work. Okay? So, here then is the plan. 1, make this knife gig work at least for several months. Bring in some income and pay the child support, pay the rental for Walter's house, and continue to pay the bills. 2, continue looking for better employment. Okay? 3, and this is some of you who have been astute and have actually been paying attention to the channel itself and the videos and maybe looking back at older videos and whatnot, can see a change. I am starting to put up affiliate links per the advice of numerous viewers who basically told me or asked me why I don't become an affiliate to the various places like Amazon and whatnot. The answer was fairly simple. I had intended to, but never had the time to get the stuff ready, or because also the crazy stuff was coming through, and I didn't know how involved it would be. Well, I decided to go ahead and take that step. And surprisingly, it wasn't too hard to become an Amazon affiliate. And how it works is this. You basically go to like Amazon.com or whatever, or you can Google Amazon affiliate, how to become an affiliate. And they'll send you to their affiliate link area, and you can sign up. Anybody can become an affiliate. And what becoming an affiliate means is you're kind of like a partner. You help sell their products, okay? And you help sell their products by advertising. You do the advertising, like putting ads up either on your website, on your promoting it on YouTube or whatever. You have affiliate links that you provide, and when the viewers or the subscribers or the readers who come to your blogs or vlogs or whatever click on those links and make a purchase, you get a small commission, a small percentage. It's nothing huge, but it might be a couple pennies to a couple dollars per click that they buy. And the significance of that is this, okay? This channel has been growing. It's not big enough for me to really make a living off becoming an affiliate to Amazon or anything like that. And I doubt I'll be able to make a full living from that. But between YouTube, the affiliates, and a whole bunch of other online projects I'm working on, I'm hoping to eventually be able to make a full living online as well as offline. And the reason that's important is, one, you know, a lot of you have been following me know that I'm no expert or claim to be an expert on any of this. I've been learning and stumbling as I go along, and reporting what I find out, so that others who are interested in doing it don't have to make the same mistakes. You know, the thing about becoming an affiliate isn't too hard, but they do require that you make sales. You know, like Amazon says, you have 90 days to make a certain number of sales, or they'll drop you as an affiliate. So how it works is when you make the purchase, you pay the price that Amazon charges. And you know, if you have, I guess if you have discount codes, whatever, you can apply those. But you basically are paying the same price you would pay if you didn't go through the affiliate link. Like if you went directly to Amazon.com and paid for it, you would pay the same price. So by clicking a link from an affiliate, you're not paying anything extra. But you are helping the person that you click, you know, the link from. So I decided to go ahead and make links for things that might be of interest for those who are building vans, you know, converting vans to become stealth campers or RVs or whatever. So things that might be of interest to people on this channel, like solar power systems and whatnot, and basically things that you would need to build a van and what all the components. So right now I've created raw links. They just link directly to Amazon because it's kind of a rush thing that I'm doing just to set it up. I want to make sure that it actually works. But I'm planning on going back to the stealthman.com website and making some pages that have a little bit more of a tutorial type feel to it, but that has direct links to the components. So if you're wanting to do things like build the van out and whatnot, it will actually link to components that you can purchase online. And when you do that, I get a tiny little commission, which will help me out in the channel. Now, I hope to become an affiliate. I plan on becoming an affiliate of Walmart as well, because I use a lot of components from Walmart and possibly Home Depot, because those are the three that I use. Potentially Harbor Freight if they have one. But I'm going to start off slow and go off with just Amazon. And the reason for that is Amazon's, I think, one of the biggest. And I think the second one I may go into is Walmart. Because those are the ones I use. Well, I use Walmart. I haven't really used Amazon except for a couple items. But they seem to be the biggest company out there doing, you know, online retail. So I will be doing a video on that and maybe showing people how to do it. So those of you who are interested in online income potential opportunities can start to do it. And my advice is to set up the groundwork for it. Now, speaking of groundwork, this whole channel exists because of an experiment. You know, you've seen me do a lot of crazy experiments that some people said don't work, won't work, and they did work. Some people have, you know, accused me of doing things to set up the situation, when the reality is this whole channel was born not because I was planning on monetizing it and making money on it, but because I was trying to help people in an emergency crisis situation who were going to suddenly find themselves homeless or whatnot and would need a shelter to survive, you know, to live in, survive, and possibly thrive in, so that they can get themselves back on their feet. I just didn't think I would find myself in this position. At the time that I created the channel and was doing the Living in a Van page and whatnot, I was actually working as a assistant mailman, what they call a city carrier assistant. And that job was pretty decent, but I ended up, you know, being in several accidents. Basically, rear end accidents. When you back up, you can't really see. And I don't know if it's just because I'm a bad driver or because people target, you know, mailman truck. When you hit a mailman truck, that's a lot of money you can get. Well, you have the mailman truck hit you, rather. But regardless, I backed up and hit people. And I was let go. So I lost that job, and it's been a struggle since. And I found myself, you know, in this situation, which is why this channel is continuing to go on and on as a blog now, you know, to show my life and what's been happening, versus just a how-to channel like it started off initially. Now, one of the other things that had happened was I created a Facebook group. Originally I had the Living in a Van Facebook page, and I thought that would be like a group. I didn't understand the difference between a Facebook page and a Facebook group. But a Facebook page, you kind of have like an administrator, the page administrator, who runs it, and they make postings and people can comment. But people can't really just comment on the page itself, you know, to ask questions and do stuff unless they comment under posting from the administrator, the person who owns the page. When I found out that there was a thing called a group, and it was different than the page, I decided to form the Living in a Van Facebook group. And we started off pretty small. I think when we had about like 400 people or so, people were asking about how to make money, you know, when you're living in a van and whatnot. And one of the things that everyone always suggests is, you can make money online, you can do YouTube, you can do whatever. The problem is, a lot of people making suggestions are just passing on information that they've seen and aren't really doing it. So I decided to go ahead and test out monetization and how it works, because I wanted to see how it would work with Google Ads, the AdSense program, and YouTube. So I had my website up, which was stealthvan.com, as well as my blog, which some of you have never seen, but it is there. I just haven't updated it in like more than a year. It's called thelatestclick.com. All one word, the latest click, C-L-I-C-K. It's TheLatestClick.com. That's my blog that I put up to test to see if I could do it, if I could generate enough interest and make money off advertising on that site. Well, that site and the stealthvan.com website only make about $1.67, usually under $1.50 every month. That's how much I earn in ad revenue, because I don't get millions of click-throughs, okay? But YouTube, on the other hand, has proven to be profitable. not in the sense that I'm rich, as you can see, it's been a struggle. And if you've been watching the other van dweller channels, you'll see that overall, when you look at the amount of work that's put in and whatnot, you're actually making less than minimum wage. You're making maybe even half or less than that. And the same applies to this channel, which is why you see the struggle. The thing, though, is YouTube gives you a shot at getting over that hump. If you can get over that hump of the people who are struggling to make any income at all, to the point where you have enough subscriber base and enough interest in your channel so you can get sponsors and whatnot, YouTube becomes a viable career option. And for someone like me who is having a hard time getting back in and getting any decent job, some of it's because of my past, crazy stuff that shows up when you Google me, and also age. I think the biggest thing is actually age, believe it or not. I know I look young, but I've been around. So, you know, it shows when they ask for a lot of things, like your background when you went to school and whatnot. That's one way they find out. So, the other thing is like job history, what you've done. So, the new jobs that I've taken, though, have made me a little bit more employable in the sense that, one, I've shown that I've been working, but two, these new jobs, they're actually not like really high-end jobs, so they're more on the lower, you know, minimum wage type jobs. And you're like, why would that be important? Well, it's important because if you can't get the higher-end jobs, which I'm struggling to do, a professional type job, you have to be able to get a lower-end job. And if people know your history was normally in a professional capacity, they don't want to hire you for like minimum wage. You know, they don't want to hire you for the low-end jobs because they figure you'll leave them, even though your other options are non-existent. You can't really take those jobs. So I was taking pretty much any job that I could get into because I have to. You know, I have to have an income to live off, as well as you know, make the child support payments and whatnot. So I was very grateful for every job that I had, including the knife gig, you know, even though it wasn't everything that they promised. And I know right now, knowing what it is, I know what to expect, at least somewhat expect. So it's not like going in like before. Now, having the weekends off, because that's my insistence, will allow me to do what the whole purpose of all this is, which is to stay with my children and see them and do things with them, and to basically not just live to work to die, but to work so that I can live. Not just live, but enjoy my life, you know. My children are everything, and the reason I'm still here and haven't bolted or taken a job overseas. I'm also married, so, you know, I now have those responsibilities, and having the weekends off, I can at least see my family and do things with them. I haven't been posting a lot of those videos like I used to because of all the crazy stuff that was going on and certain threats and whatnot that you get because there's trolls and weirdos out there. I know it's hard to conceive because you know, I heard about it and stuff from other channels, but when your channel starts to become somewhat known, they really come out of the woodwork. And so that's why privacy has become a major issue. Some of you have been able to figure things out. Don't publish those, please, you know, because it puts me, my family, and my situation into danger, you know. And that's no joke, that's serious, because I've had those calls and other weird stuff happen. So I basically now try to not include the family too much, or at least don't show them and talk too much about them. But they're still there, and I still see them, and I still do things with them. So having the weekends off with Hessler is a big, huge bonus. The other thing is coming in right now, where I can actually make a decent income, is a really big bonus. And if they're willing to work with me and let me commute and not put me like hundreds of miles, upwards of 1,000-mile round trip away from home, then this is doable. You know, the only issue will be getting a vehicle that can do it. Right now, Rusty Iron Van is still running in limp mode and leaking fluids. But here's the thing. Rusty Iron Van is still running. We didn't think Rusty would last this long, and Rusty is still running. So, I've got a plan. Stay tuned, everybody. Until next time, I hope your day is going well. I want to thank you for joining me. And I can tell you this, those of you who've been waiting for me to move back into living in a van, you're about to get your wish. Expect some new, exciting, and interesting content as we continue the winds of change that have started several months ago. Take care, everybody.